there. Welcome back. This is Justin with Figuring Out Finances. Once again, my apologies for being a day or two late here on the usual schedule. I think from now on, I'm just going to create videos when it works for me. I'll do our updates on those days that I make videos, and we'll just kind of roll with it like that. So hopefully that works for everybody okay. Today we're going to be talking about the most common investment buckets or vehicles that you can invest in or hold your stocks and bonds, for instance, in. You need something to put those in, so we're going to talk about those. Before we get to that, though, I wanted to just start at the top with how our $5 a day investing is going. So you can see here that we've contributed $1,175 so far. Total growth is a measly $7.53 for a grand total of $1,182.53. So I will just point out, even though the growth hasn't been that great, one nice thing about doing this investing every day is even without a lot of growth from interest or dividends or whatnot, we're still, we're building up our savings, and that's the important thing here. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. So what are the most common types of retirement vehicles? We're going to talk about 3 of the most common types of vehicles that you can use for retirement accounts, and then we're going to talk about one bonus one at the end, so you got to stick around for that. The first one is really common. You've probably heard of it if you have a regular W-2 type job, and that's a 401k. So a lot of employers offer 401ks. And what's nice about 401ks, or what can be nice, is a lot of employers will offer some kind of match. So you want to look when you go to get a new job or you sign a job offer, see what kind of retirement options they have, because if they do have a match, say like 3% might be pretty common. So you would want to take advantage of that match. So they say, hey, if you save 3% of your income, then us as a company will match you another 3%, and we can put that, you put that in your retirement account. So that's free money. You really need to think about that as if 100% is your total pay. If you have a 3% match and you get it, you're actually making 103% of your salary, really, when you think about it. So don't leave a match on the table. That is my advice to you. 401k accounts are typically tax-deferred accounts. And what a tax-deferred account means is you're putting in pre-tax dollars into that account. So you're not paying taxes on them today. And once that money goes into the account, it's going to start compounding, it's going to start growing. And then later on, when you get to retirement age, when you go to take distributions or you take money out of that account in retirement to pay for your expenses at that time, then you have to pay taxes on that as if it were income, because at that point, that's basically what it is. But there are a few plans that'll offer a Roth option. Roth is R-O-T-H, so I'll put it right here. A Roth 401k is going to let you invest after-tax dollars. So you've already paid taxes on this portion of money, and then you invest it. What's nice about a Roth account is you do pay those taxes up front. So then all your contributions to the account and then all the growth that those contributions make over time as you get closer to retirement, when you go to pull that money out, you've already paid taxes on it, and so you don't owe any more taxes. So it can be an interesting investment vehicle, and it's generally a good idea to have a little bit of both. You want some stuff that might be Roth where you've already paid the taxes on it, and then some stuff more traditionally where you put in pre-tax dollars. With a 401k, you'll want to make sure that you read the fine print with your employer, because there's a thing called vesting. So when you start to invest and then maybe you get a match from the company, you might not get to keep that full match if you don't stay with the company long enough. So you want to make sure that you're what's called fully vested generally before you leave the company, because you want to make sure you can take all that retirement money that you've saved with you when you go. 403b is a similar type of account to a 401k, except usually it's only available to folks that work in public education, for instance, or for a nonprofit. But generally, it's a very similar vehicle as far as investing is concerned. And lastly, with a 401k, generally speaking, when you go to leave a company or move to a different job, you can usually roll that 401k into an IRA, or an individual retirement account, which is the next account that we're going to talk about. Now, an IRA is an individual retirement account. So almost anybody can open up an IRA. Typically, they're really easy to open. For my wife and I, for instance, I went and opened a Roth IRA, which allows you to contribute with post-tax dollars. So you've already paid the taxes on it. You go ahead and throw it in there. It grows, and then when you go to pull it out, you don't have to pay taxes again, which is kind of nice. And you don't pay taxes on that growth. If you have a traditional IRA, your contributions are tax deductible. So your contributions and growth continue tax-free. However, when you go to take distributions in retirement from a regular traditional IRA, you're gonna have to pay taxes at that time based on the tax bracket that you're in at your time of retirement or when you go to take those distributions. As I mentioned before, Roth IRAs are another type of individual retirement account. And once again, it's probably a good idea to have a mix of regular or traditional IRA dollars and also Roth IRA dollars, just so you mix up and diversify a little bit with how you're getting taxed, both on the front end or on the back end when you get to retirement. And a third type of investment vehicle that we can talk about is an HSA or a health savings account. And these are a little different in that you probably wouldn't think that you'd use a health savings account to save for retirement, but you'd actually be surprised to know that you can use an HSA in a lot of cases to invest money in stocks and bonds. Now, to open an HSA, usually you have to qualify. You need to have a insurance plan that has a high deductible typically. So if you do have a high deductible on your insurance plan, you usually can contribute to an HSA. And you use those HSA dollars to pay for your medical expenses. So what's cool about an HSA is when you go to contribute to it, you can deduct that from your taxes at the end of the year. So say you contribute, $3,000 to your HSA, that's $3,000 that you don't get taxed on your gross income at the end of the year. And then what's great is, say, we'll use that example, the $3,000. If you invest that $3,000 within the HSA vehicle, as that money grows, you also don't have to pay taxes on that. And then when you get to retirement, you can draw that money to pay for health expenses as you're retired. And once again, you don't have to pay on the growth or those contributions any tax. With some types of HSAs, you might have to hit a certain threshold. I believe the one that my wife and I have, I think the first $2,000 you can't invest, but once you get past that $2,000 mark within the account, then you can start investing that money into stocks and bonds or index funds or whatever you choose. And if you stuck around this long, we'll talk about the fourth and kind of bonus account type here that you might run into for retirement. And it's kind of a retirement account. It's kind of not. It's called a brokerage account. So basically, that's what we've done with this $5 a day savings plan. So all I'm doing there is I'm just throwing money into a brokerage account. And when I go to take the money out, if I have a gain on it, I'm going to have to pay either short or long-term capital gains tax. And we'll talk about that in another video. But the growth is definitely not tax-free. You have to count it as income, and so you do end up paying taxes on it. When would you use a brokerage account? Well, if you kind of max out all of your other options, there are limits to how much you can put into a 401k, for instance. There are limits to how much you can put into an HSA and an IRA. And so if you hit all those limits and you've kind of maxed out your tax advantaged retirement accounts, for a lot of people, a brokerage account is kind of the next stop as far as a place to invest and grow their money, even though there aren't really any tax advantages to a brokerage account. So while this is not a comprehensive overview of all the different ways that you can save for retirement, it is a good start, and these are some of the most common terms that you'll probably run into when you go to start saving for your retirement. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to interact with you there. Thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.